The annual Pony Express Reride is scheduled to begin its gallop across the Nebraska portion for today. Joining us with more is Petra Keller, the Corresponding Secretary of the National Pony Express Association. Petra, why does the National Pony Express Association feel it's so important to go on this annual Reride?
Pony Express Association is dedicated to preserving the Pony Express National Historic Trail and its history. So our mission is to identify, preserve, and raise awareness of the Pony Express past and present and the Pony Express National Historic Trail. And one of the ways we do that is by holding the annual Reride, which we hold every June around a full moon so that our night riders have some full moon light, hopefully, to find the path.
You recently completed riding a leg of the Pony Express Reride in central Nevada. Petra, how was that ride and what makes it enjoyable for you?
I rode outside of Eureka, Nevada. I've been riding with the National Pony Express Association since 2010, which was the sesquicentennial celebration. And I've been riding for 16 years now. This was my very first night ride that I did, which was around midnight. And it was such a cool experience to ride at a full moon. I rode with a friend of mine who was a first-time rider, and she truly is hooked and, as I call it, caught pony fever, and will be back next year to ride. I really enjoy going out in the desert and camping with our ride team. We get together and have a social and meet together. The other thing that I find so enjoyable is just the bond that I get with my horse. You know, trusting me to ride at night is kind of a big deal in a train that we've never ridden together, and a true Pony Express historical rider where frequently they didn't know the trail when they rode it or the horses they rode. So it's very special.
Petra, what is the general route of the Pony Express Reride, and how many riders does it take to complete it?
So the general route is from St. Joseph, Missouri to Sacramento, and the reverse. So this year we're riding from the west, from Sacramento to St. Joseph. We are starting in Old Town, Sacramento, and we travel through California along the route of Highway 50, and then we go through Nevada, Utah, Wyoming, Nebraska, Colorado, Kansas, and we end in St. Joseph. We go along the historic Pony Express Trail, which meanders along Highway 50 and 80 through those states. Give or take a couple of miles north and south to meander around that. And next year, when we travel from the east to the west, we start at St. Joe and end in Sacramento. As to how many riders does it take, it's approximately 600 ride teams to complete the annual Reride. And we ride 24/7 for 10 days. And it's incredibly done with support teams that help us shuttle rigs and horses, and also the ham support that we have for safety of our ride teams.
Talking right now with Petra Keller of the National Pony Express Association for more on the annual Pony Express Reride. Petra, the Pony Express Reride, scheduled to begin its run through Nebraska today. What is that route, especially through the central areas of Nebraska? And does it include some stops for people to greet the riders?
Today we enter Nebraska in Lyman, which travels then past Scottsbluff and Chimney Rock, which those are great events to stop and visit. The National Park Service has some special events at those locations as well. And then we further go to Bridgeport and Sidney. Near Chapel, the Nebraska team hands off to the Colorado teams, where the pony then dips down through Julesburg, Colorado, and then comes back into Nebraska to go to the Nebraska ride teams in Big Springs. Along that route, the pony will also travel to the Tri-Trails Park, which is south of Ogallala, and then travels via Paxton, North Platte, Brady, Kozak, the Midway Ranch by Gothenburg, Plum Creek, Fort Kearny, Oak, Hebron, and Rock Creek Station before it goes to Kansas. There are several highlights along that route, and there's some great locations to see the pony come through. Check out our website, nationalponyexpress.org, and find the ride schedule and track along on the Follow the Ride page to see where the rider currently is.
If someone wants to be a part of the future Pony Express Rerides, Petra, what is required and how can they become a member of the National Pony Express Association?
Thank you for asking. We are always looking for riders. Different states will have different requirements for their application process, but you can check out our Riders Wanted page on our website. You have to be a member of one of the 8 states that you want to ride in. Check out the state you would like to ride in and contact the person on our website. Each rider must provide their own mount and tack to participate in the annual Reride. We have a uniform, which is a blue jeans, long-sleeved red shirt, a brown vest and a yellow scarf, boots, and a Western hat or safety helmet. And if you're under 14, you can still participate, and you can be a buddy rider or shadow rider of somebody else who's carrying the mochila.
And Petra, anything else you would like to add about the Pony Express Re-Ride?
Sure. So a couple of things. We carry a GPS tracking device in our mochila, which is what we carry all the letters in. This year we're carrying approximately 1,200 letters, and that's how we're able to track our rider across the way, and that is integrated into our website. The other thing I'd like to mention is that we have an annual convention. This year it'll be in Nevada. However, next year, in 2026, September 11th and 12th, it'll be in Hastings, Nebraska. So hopefully we'll see you on the trail this or next year and or at the convention in Hastings. Thanks for your time, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you about the great National Pony Express Association.
And we thank you for joining us, Petra. That's Petra Keller, Corresponding Secretary of the National Pony Express Association, talking about the annual Pony Express Re-Ride. It begins its run through Nebraska today. For more, including membership information, you can go to nationalponyexpress.org. That's nationalponyexpress.org. For updates and pictures of the ride, you can like the Facebook page for National Pony Express. I'm Paul Perkins on the Rural Radio Network.